have a boyfriend?
Yes, I do.
Where is he from?
He's from another nation.
Which nation?
Imagination.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast, an LGBT podcast, streaming live on Digital Stream Radio, where you can access that live stream every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can do so by visiting digitalstreamradio.com. Wow. We are going to be having a great show today. We have a guest for the first time in a long time that is not Dr. G. So we're excited about that. And my name is Tom. I'm your host. And as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing friends, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all. Nick or Trish.
And
J Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend.
All right now. And welcome you all to the dish. So, I don't think we have much of anything today in regards to stories, but, you know, we always start roundtable with what we're doing, what's happening in our lives and things like that. And that usually takes us through this first half of the show. And luckily, because we have a guest, so that means we probably don't have to, expand or talk about other different things. But I'm excited for today's guest. Today's guest is not only is he a nutritionist and a life coach. You know, Paul Bailey has been doing this and has well over 15 years of experience. He's been helping gay men transform their health, body, and self-confidence by focusing on their mindset, relationship with food, and also themselves. So I think we can all use a little bit of that in our lives. A lot. So, I'm super excited. We'll have him on the second half of the show. But for now, how are you, boys? Let me start with you, Trish. How you doing?
I'm good. Life is crazy.
As always.
Yeah. I might have a niece by the end of the evening.
Right. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
He may have to bolt out of here as soon as the show is done today because, you know, he might be expecting a little niece.
Yeah.
He'll be on full gunkle status.
Yeah. Gunkling it up.
Well, I think tonight is just mostly just taking care of the dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
While daddy and mommy are in the hospital doing the real heavy lifting.
Yeah. And we already saw a photo of my sister-in-law. She seems very happy.
She was just amazing.
I was like, Chris, she might kill you.
It's so delightful. Just hold her hand, let her squeeze the shit out of it. She might break a couple of knuckles here and there, but that's fine. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah. That reminds me of a clip I saw the other day of this lady. She's in labor, and the nurse is taking her vitals. She's like, any allergies? She goes, yes. Penicillin? Anything else? Yes. Men.
Oh my God.
So,
you know, it's exciting for us.
It's actually a perfect point, though. Because it is Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy V Day.
Happy V Day. We're not talking about veterans. We're talking about Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.
Veterans comes later.
Happy Palentines. Happy Galentines. I know that those are usually
Explain.
in the mixed. Palentines?
Uh-huh.
Guys or girls that are friends.
Okay.
Pals.
Palentine's, okay.
And gals, like my daughter Roxanne had a Galentine's get together. All her single friends, female friends.
Nice. Okay, Galentine's
So, yeah.
and then Valentine's.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Not that I know of. or recall
You
at
said
this time.
Galentine's?
Galentine's and Palentines. And then Valentine's.
Gals. Okay, and Valentine's.
Gals
Is
and
there anything
pals.
for Galentine's? Can we make it up?
I guess
Why not?
Galentine or Palentine, either or. We're gals.
I have
On occasions.
Oh my God, I was on a work call the other day, and it was over Zoom, and it was
Of course.
just internal, but there were a couple people on Zoom, and everybody else was in the room, and I was on Zoom, and we got to a point where they were trying to get me to talk about something, but somebody else had to speak about something as well. And my boss goes, well, ladies first. I was like, okay then. And everybody just died in the room. And then obviously, I handed it over to the ladies. But it was fun.
Right.
That's good.
I can only imagine. Well, since my friends call me Trish, technically I could qualify as a lady, so let me go first.
I used to be a lady. I'm not a lady anymore.
So speaking of
Does,
that,
just a quick question. Does your boss know you go by Trish?
No, I don't think he knows that name.
Oh,
I
just-
mean,
just
we're
niche.
we're still working on niche. So
Okay.
pretty much.
That'll definitely throw what do you call it?
A wrench in
A
the
wrench
whole
in the
thing.
sprockets.
oh my god, I'm not gonna let. He doesn't need to know about that.
Yeah. Well, you better pray he's not listening.
I hope not.
Lord have mercy. So let's talk about Valentine's. Do you when you're with someone, because I know you're single now and you have been for quite a while now,
It's been 84 years.
do you celebrate? I mean, do you go all out for Valentine's? Because to me, it's just like, no.
Valentine's is a weird one for me.
Right. Why? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
my oldest brother passed away on Valentine's Day, so it's been a while that I've actually celebrated it like a normal person would. It kind of always comes with a little bit of
Baggage.
but
Right. A lot of Prada, a lot of Gucci.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think what's kind of serendipitous, and we were talking about this earlier, is that if this little baby girl is born today, there's something so beautiful about that.
Right.
And it kind of like lightens the day and
Right.
makes it special. And then she's like a love baby.
Right. Because I mean, when you think about it, losing your older brother on Valentine's Day and then having your niece potentially be born today, we don't know if that's going to be the case. She's in the hospital waiting and doing her thing. 10 centimeters is a lot of hours away. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
And, if that were the case, you're right. You're taking something that you've predominantly have associated with something dark, and now it has been replaced with something that has light in it, right?
Yeah.
And it's loving, and I think that might be a way for your family to really come to terms.
Yeah. It's
In a
like
sense.
it's almost like a healing thing, which is, it's like a weird type of, I don't know, full circle type
Right.
thing where, we lost somebody very important to us, and now we are bringing the first baby girl into our family, and that's pretty beautiful and exciting.
Is she the only niece?
Yeah.
Girl niece? Oh
She's
my
the
God,
first
she's
one.
gonna be spoiled.
Oh my God. Yes. And they better have the unicorn booties at the fucking hospital, because Lindsay promised me that she was bringing the baby home in her unicorn booties. Yes, I bought them.
Did you ask your brother if he took them?
And
Were they
92
packed?
onesies.
92 onesies.
Right.
Yeah.
Were they packed in the emergency
I
hospital
mean,
bag?
that wasn't my first question today. I literally just thought of it.
Yeah.
So.
So you need to text and make sure that he packed those booties. If not, you're going to go take care of the dog, feed the dog, walk the dog, get in the car, go to the hospital with the booties and drop them off.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, the good thing is, I mean, the baby's born. She wouldn't be coming home today anyway, so you have a few days before that happens.
Yeah.
So.
You can FedEx
You
the
can,
booties.
yeah.
And then the only other thing I would say about Valentine's Day, and I always say this every year, is for all of our couples out there that are listening, remember the number one rule, and that's fuck first.
Right.
Fuck first.
Always.
So make sure that you go home before you go out to dinner tonight or before you do anything tonight. Get it out of the way.
Right.
Not that you're getting it out of the way. Enjoy yourself. But then you can go out and enjoy yourself.
Work up
Right.
the appetite.
Exactly.
Work
Because
up
once
the
you
appetite.
eat, you got to worry about all the shit that's inside you. And if you're getting pounded, if you're getting that pussy pounded,
You might fart.
you might fart, you might shard, you might shit the dick.
Or you might have, a couple
Yeah.
glasses of champagne or Prosecco or whatnot and fall asleep on your partner, and that would piss me off. So
Right.
get
And it's never fun,
True.
when you are going out to dinner prior to engaging someone sexually, and you don't want to eat because you don't want to run the risk of shitting the dick. And it was like, so you sit there and you drink, and then you get loosey-goosey, and then because you have nothing in your stomach. So yeah, fuck first, eat after. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So, Jay, what about you?
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Nah.
I mean,
So-
you've been
so,
married
yeah,
for
I've
like
been
84
married for,
years.
for 84 years. As long as Nick hasn't been laid. So the last time Nick had sex, I got married. So no,
Wow.
but
It's a
we've
good
been
day.
together. Yeah, we've been together. And in the beginning, in a few first 15 years or so, we celebrated, and then we realized we're paying out the fucking nose for a dinner we had 2 days ago for half the price.
Right.
So we just kind of eliminated the whole going out thing. I still try to get her something, you know, but her birthday's also 2 days prior, so Saturday was her birthday.
Oh, so you got to pick one. You can't do both. I mean,
So-
we is poor.
Now, I get screwed left and right. Christmas, I have two of my daughters and my mother, the 12th, the 17th, and the 19th, and then Christmas.
So they get their birthday gifts, and then they expect
And they
Christmas.
get Christmas, yeah. My wife is the 12th, and Valentine's Day, you know. So it's like, it's one on top of the other. It's like you don't really get a break. So
Right.
the missus was like, look, I understand it's a lot of spending. So
Just give me one
thank
really
God.
nice
gift.
gift.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but we traveled. We went to Jersey this past weekend. My little cousin got married. Beautiful, beautiful wedding.
Was it a Jersey wedding?
It was in a winery.
Okay.
Very, very nice.
Okay.
Amazing venue.
Yeah.
So
Amazing
was it an
venue.
outdoor wedding?
No, it was indoors.
I was
had
gonna
halls
say.
and-
It was warm this
Yeah.
weekend.
I mean, it was warm, but still, it's
No,
like.
believe it or not, and I was surprised, 60 degrees for his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I was outside with just my jacket, and
Yeah.
my wife was wearing her dress, no coat. We had a great time.
I know.
That's
so
awesome.
the weather really played well. We drove up Friday. We went out to dinner Friday for her birthday with my other cousins. So she had
That's awesome, though. I feel like the odds were ever in their favor when it came to getting married on that date.
Amazing.
A
It was
February wedding with 60-degree
60
weather.
degree weather. It
And
was
then
amazing.
snow the next day.
Yes.
And then like 22.
I shit show the next day. But so we hung out. We did the wedding for her birthday. We had a great time. My niece had a prom dress that she wore when she graduated high school that one of her aunts bought for her. Expensive dress. It was like $600-700 dress. And it's been sitting in the closet. So we're talking about the wedding, and my niece is like, oh, I have a dress you can wear. So my wife got it like Monday last week and had it altered in 3 days. And
Oh, wow.
so she wore that to the wedding, and she looked amazing. It
She
was a
don't play.
beautiful dress.
When she
When
focuses
dresses
on
up,
something,
yeah,
she's ready to go.
and she's got that Frida Kahlo look to her. So it's
She always has.
yeah. So
Yeah.
she knocked it out the park, and she got a lot of compliments on the dress. She was really happy.
Yeah, I
And then-
really truly do enjoy your wife's style when it comes
She's very
to.
eclectic.
I love it because she's also very free flowing, very Frida Kahlo.
Yes,
in a sense. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And we had a great time. And then Sunday we met up with a good friend of mine. We've known each other since 82.
84 years ago.
Yeah, and they
Since
were living
One day I'm going to show up here and I'm going to be like, guys,
yeah.
I got
broke the
plowed
streak.
out.
You don't even have to. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna walk in and you're,
You're
gonna,
gonna
be
be
glowing.
glowing.
There's gonna be like a halo around your whole body, and like
Absolutely.
I'm going to walk in and be like, my brother's going to be an uncle now.
Yeah, but it was.
Don't know what they look like, but
Yeah, you never know. But we had a good time, and then so we met up with our friends on Sunday on the way back home. They're up in Jersey as well, in Belmar, and we had brunch with them, with him and his wife, and we had a good time. And my wife and I know them forever as well, so it was a nice nice weekend all together. She got treated to dinner. She got treated for brunch.
She got to get dressed up.
Yeah, so today she shows up and she brings me a little Valentine's Day gift, and of course I worked from home, so I'm like, I don't have shit for you, So I was like, and she's like, no, you did so much this whole weekend, don't even stress it,
Right.
So I appreciate that. She's thoughtful in that sense as well.
well, I too have been single for probably 84 years. I don't. I
But
don't. I
not
really don't.
necessarily celibate.
Right. I mean, windows, asses through the window and stuff like that. That's all good. I don't buy into all this, propaganda of having to, feel like you're forced to go like put yourself in debt.
$65 for roses.
Like put yourself in debt just to, demonstrate to someone that you love them when you can do that every day. Right. And so I really don't buy into that. And even like holidays like Christmas, like if you're not a child less than 13 years of age, you're not getting a gift. You get a Merry Christmas, I love you, and that's it. I don't buy into that. It's like there are people out there that are putting themselves into debt, trying to appease and appear that, oh yeah, I can do this. I can splurge on this and this and this and this and this and that. I mean, you've got people that are, collecting, social services and assistance, yet they got time to be up in that nail salon every week getting $40, $50, and $60 critic sets done every single week.
Yeah.
Shit. If you do toes and nails, it's 100 and change, easy.
So, I mean, it's like, I don't have time for that. I don't buy into it. I have a mortgage to pay, bills to pay, and my life is not easy, and nor is it cheap. And so, no, I don't do it. And if I had a boyfriend, I wouldn't get into this whole Valentine's thing. I love you.
Imagine me buying Valentine's Day for everybody at home now. 4 girls and 7 grandkids.
Well,
That's
imagine if I was in a relationship and someone didn't buy me a Valentine's gift.
You wouldn't be in a relationship because they'd be dead.
See, but
have
that's different. That's different, especially
Earlier today,
Yeah.
there was this big ass icicle hanging outside, and Tom rips it off the side. He's like, "That's gonna impale someone." It's like, you should have left it. And he goes, "Oh, there's no Steve here."
No Steve here for you to
No
like
Steve
murder
here.
or anything like that. No,
But-
it is what it is. And for those who celebrate, listen, not knocking you down, none of that. It's just for me, I don't see the financial relevance to putting yourself in debt just to show someone that you love them. When you do that every day, when you wake up and you kiss them in the morning and you make them a cup of coffee, do something nice. Make them breakfast. It doesn't, make them French toast. Or
What I will say is, I think that there are, certain situations where, an occasion like this would be important, right? If you are a parent or, you have 3 kids, 2 kids, 1 kid, you don't really have time for one another. So having that day, knowing that, okay, I'm going to schedule something for that day so that we can have some time together, I think that is a good use of something like this.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It's call grandma. I'm dropping these fucking baby kids
That's what
off.
I'm saying.
And I'm just going to go for a run. I'm going to run straight into hell because these kids are driving me bananas. That's what that's called.
Don't get me
know.
wrong.
Call
When
me
the
bitter.
when my girls were younger, we did stuff with them, but we never splurged and we never went crazy with stuff. We got them little cards and chocolates, and just to show them we appreciate them. And we try to do the same thing with the grandkids. But for instance, today, I didn't get anything for the missus, but before I left, usually on Mondays, I normally cook. I don't cook on Mondays because I'm leaving. But before my wife got home, I made sure that I had something ready for her to eat.
Oh, see,
Before I
that's
left.
sweet.
But that's sensible and appropriate.
Yeah,
You have it in
exactly.
the home. You're doing something that you're going out of your way to do something that typically you don't do on Mondays. And it shows her that, hey, I know he has a very long day today. I know that he's got to be running around. He's got to jump from one side of the state to the other to go do a show and blah, blah, blah. But he took the time to show me that he loves me, and he cooked something and left it there for me.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's meaningful.
Yeah, yeah.
There are these bitches out here that are expecting
Yeah.
$200 and $300 dinners with $90 bottles of Moet. Moet? Is it Moet or Moet? You?
Moet.
Right.
I would not want that.
And or whatever, champagne and like if you can't get them a dinner that's worth like $275 minimum, they want nothing to do with you.
Steak and lobster.
Oh, that shit. I can't.
I got you. I've seen it. So
I can't. So
Well, happy
I mean,
Valentine's Day, boys.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day,
Valentine's
everyone. Like I said, listen, if you want to go out of your way to show someone that you love them monetarily, that's your prerogative. I'm not saying you can't do that. It's just that's just not me. I'm like Arya Stark. I'm sorry, not me. I'm gonna go out there and become a faceless girl and just start murdering people and off with like what's his name?
We're going off the rails here.
Oh God, what was
She
that?
lost it.
What was the Lord's name? The Twin Towers, the twins in the twins, Lord Frey, where she like carved out his face and like
God.
poisoned all his people. Yeah, that would be me.
I'm getting a phone call from a family member.
Oh, interesting. You want to answer that?
Yeah, I am going to.
All right.
Please.
Do you want me to plug it in?
No.
So anyway, while she's doing that, yeah, it's just
Yeah, no,
It's
and
interesting.
I agree with you. I mean, I get the just be of Valentine's and what it quote unquote represents.
Right.
And I understand that, but they've turned same thing with Easter. They
Easter.
have turned it into such a Valentine's Day stuff is up. Are you
Everything
a gunkle
okay?
yet?
I will be.
All right.
it's happening.
I will be a gunkle today.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, that's happening. So that means she's gonna have to book out of here later.
Yes.
All right. Well,
but what I was saying quickly is that I understand the meaning behind it, but sometimes you gotta take a step back and realize that there's other ways of showing you love someone without spending a fortune on them.
right.
And if they can't realize or they don't recognize that's it's not about spending the money, then you need to take a second look at that.
Seriously.
relationship.
Call me bitter Betty, but somebody's getting murdered.
Okay, bitter Betty.
All right. Well, listen. Love the conversation. Happy Valentine's Day. We do have a guest, so we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we have Paul Bailey joining us. He's our nutritional coach, and we're excited. So here's some music. We will be right back. All right. Well, welcome back, ladies and gents, from the break. A little awkward for us because we normally do like a really long musical break, but because, we got to go upstairs, we got to do our shots, we got to do all of that good stuff and get our liquid courage so that words can just flow out of our mouths, or as we like to say, speak in cursive. But, it is what it is. But we're back. We're back. And we're excited because now we have our guest for today, Paul Bailey. He is a nutrition coach with over 15 years of experience helping gay men transform their health, body, and self-confidence by focusing on their mindset, relationships with food, and themselves. Paul, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So we are excited because it's been a while. The last time we had someone, actually, I believe also from the UK, that spoke about nutrition and how that translates to the gay community or members of the LGBTQ plus community was about, I would probably say almost 2 years ago. So we're excited because it's time to revisit the conversation on how important nutrition is, not only for gay people, but everyone in general. And so before we get started, please tell us who you are, your pronouns if you'd like to share, and a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I say, my name is Paul Bailey. I'm he, him. And I have been doing coaching for about 20 years, but I added on the nutrition bit in the last 10, 15 years. And it just seemed to click a lot more with people that when I was working with them, because especially here in the UK, people don't get coaching. It doesn't make sense to them.
Right, right.
But when you talk about nutrition and weight loss, which is usually the thing that people associate nutrition with, they get it, they understand it. And it's so much easier to have that conversation. And then you can move them on to the coaching bit, they're talking about the mindset, about their relationship with food and themselves and things like that. And it really opens up a much bigger dialogue that basically starts usually with belly fat, because that's pretty much every conversation we'll have with somebody.
We are loaded. We are
How do I
loaded.
get rid of belly fat?
Right.
So, Paul, tell us a little bit about how you got into this.
It really bizarrely, I was just polling some friends and saying, look, I want to do an extra course and I'm not sure whether to do personal training or nutrition. And it was ever so slightly more popular that people wanted to learn about nutrition. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll do that. So I studied with a company called Precision Nutrition. They're based in Canada, and they're incredibly science-based. There's none of this woo-woo stuff going on there. And It just made sense, and people really appreciated somebody talking to them about science-based nutrition as opposed to what I've read on the internet and this is what I've heard my mother told me, that kind of stuff.
Right, like take a shot of like, what do they call that? Apple cider vinegar every day with, whatever, and destroy your insides while we're at it, right? That kind of thing.
Well, I mean, there isn't anything magical about it. Basically, there is no superfood. There are foods that are slightly better for you and slightly worse for you, but there is no really good or bad food, which is what I tell everybody as I'm eating my McDonald's. There is no good or bad food. You just don't have it every single day, and that's how you improve.
Right. So your journey into, obviously you've been coaching for a very long time, but your journey into nutrition, does it have anything to do with like a personal thing that you wanted to accomplish for yourself as part of your journey in helping others?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was 13 years old, my mother dropped dead in front of me from a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And I was helping my father give her CPR. She was 45 years old. God. And I'm 51 now. And when I hit 40, I became paranoid. Am I going to survive past my mother's age, or am I going to die at 45? Because you suddenly realize, holy shit, 40 is not old. Right. And 45 is really nothing at all. And I have sort of noticed that as I get older, you think, Jesus, 50's not old either. Right. How long does this go on for?
Right. And it's kind of scary too that, death sometimes, the fear of death is sometimes what drives us to do better. In some cases, for ourselves and for others, and to make changes. But, often we fail to realize that, regardless at what age, death is inevitable. But while we're alive, what can we do to better our lives and minimize the risk?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so much more about living a longer and healthier and more active life. That's really what I try and focus on the most. It's not just about living longer, because, you can live into your hundreds and just be sat in a chair and not do very much. But I wanted to be active and be as healthy as possible and do the things I love for as long as I possibly can. That's what's the driving factor for me.
Right.
So if we look at because mainly you work with the gay community. So if we look at the gay community as a whole, we know that generally we are really hard on ourselves. We tear ourselves apart. We don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror unless we look a certain way, or at least that's me.
Self-reflection.
Uh-huh.
That's important. That's important for your process.
The reason I bring it up is because I'm sure as a coach and as a nutritionist, you come across that a lot. And I'm wondering how you kind of guide somebody through that process.
I think helping them realize that a lot of gay men in particular deal with guilt and shame because we've been through usually quite a sort of turmoil when we were younger, and then you go into the gay community and you're getting judged by the way you look, by the people you hang out with the clothes you're wearing, by the muscles you have or don't have, and all those kind of things. So it's ingrained in us to have this very critical and judgmental sense about our own self-worth and the way we look. So helping people understand that's probably a part of why we have an issue with what we eat and why we guilt ourselves into eating things. And we often end up with a fuck it mentality where you've had something bad, so you may as well just binge for the rest of the week.
Right. And it's also worth noting too that especially in the gay community with males specifically in men, we're very vain about everything, vain about how we look, vain about how we feel. There's vanity in how much we weigh. And if you are a certain individual that looks a certain way, that doesn't meet the ideal male physique, you're cast aside, you're ostracized, you're not really invested in when it comes to, you know, sharing spaces with other members of the gay community. And it's very hard. So how do we use what you're offering to try to mitigate that pain that we feel with rejection from our own community?
I think that we really have to look at ourselves first of all, because quite often what we believe is rejection from our own community is actually rejection from ourselves.
Right.
And we have to be very introspective and think about what it is that I'm struggling with, what is it that I don't like, what can I change, and actually start to focus on things that I do like about myself and the things that I can do and the things that are good about me. And you know, I say to a lot of people, you know, we have an entire bear community that they wouldn't dream of being skinny little bitches. Why would they want to? You know?
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah, and I'm proud of that because I mean, I've been both spectrums. When I was very young, up until, you know, my 30s, probably maybe around 31, 32. I was a skinny bitch that could eat a large pizza and down a whole, like, you know, 2-liter Coke all by myself and, you know, take a dump and lose 20 pounds. That was the kind of person that I was. And then, you know, it's all of a sudden it's like, I blew up like a balloon at the Macy's Day Parade on, you know, on Thanksgiving. And for me, it's like, I know that as you age, your body tends to process things that you continuously throw at it differently, and resulting in weight gain and changes, physical changes in your body. And so, you know, I know that there are changes that I need to make in my life, but sometimes some of those changes, like I don't want to give up a cheeseburger, and I could eat a cheeseburger every day. But, you know, tell me, how do I get away from those double cheeseburgers?
You don't. You absolutely don't. Cheeseburgers should be a part of your life.
Right.
Like I said, just not every single day. And it really is the best way you can look at this is how can I make each meal just a little tiny bit better? So if I'm having a burger with fries, with a shake, with a apple pie dessert pudding, how can I make that a little bit better? Maybe not eat all the fries. Maybe swap the shake out for a diet soda or something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you make every single meal just that little bit better, you will start to see improvements. Anybody did not get to the size they are today overnight. It took years to get there. And one burger is not going to get you there. Just the same as if you lose a little bit of weight, one burger is not going to put all that weight back on again. So actually learning that every single day, every single meal, if you can make that just a little bit better over the months, weeks, years, you'll get back to the weight that is comfortable for you. And I do hate when we talk about weight in particular and specific weight and target weight. It drives me fucking insane because there is no perfect weight that you should be. The BMI is a load of nonsense. It drives me mad that the medical industry still use that as a system as health. We should be thinking about what we feel comfortable with, what we look good with, what we feel healthy with. That's what we should be focusing on, not a number on a scale.
I mean, we're talking. Yeah, it's a doctor, but they still need to make money. So they're gonna diagnose you with obesity, even though you feel healthy and you're still able to do a lot of stuff because you don't meet that quote unquote BMI. A lot of bullshit is what I see. But
absolutely. And the scary thing is, I mean, here in the UK, we've got free healthcare, but we still get that. Yeah. We still walk into the doctors and they say to us, oh, you know, I've got this ache, I've got this pain, this is wrong with me. They look at you and go, well, you need to lose weight first. But that's got nothing to do with what I've just told you. Right.
I mean, but it's easier said than done. Okay, doctor, you're telling me I need to lose weight. What are my options? What can I do? What methods do you have? What tell me, how do I go about that? right? And have a smart conversation. Here's my diet. This is what I do. Now you tell me what I need to do. That's not
Well, that's when you go see Paul.
right, right.
This is the thing. This is why this kind of profession exists, is because doctors do not have time to go into detail and to help you change your mindset about eating, because that's what it is. Everybody that comes to me says, I know what I should do, I just don't do it.
Right.
That's because it's not actually about what's on your plate. It's about what's in your mind.
Right.
I find it really interesting, though, that you're both a life coach, and I think that that's really, important to harp on, and a nutritionist, right? Because when we talk about the gay community, when we talk about food, and when we talk about our relationship with food, I know that in the gay community, I know plenty of people that struggle with eating disorders and or binging because they're not eating correctly. And so they're hiding that, and they're calling it their shame eating or their shame time or whatever it is. And they're constantly going at themselves about it. And so as a gay man, meeting with somebody like you and kind of putting it out there, all right, these are the things that I'm dealing with. And the reality is maybe I have a slight eating disorder, or maybe I binge eat, or whatever it is. How do you go about having that conversation with them to help them come through and like see and heal their relationship with food?
It's certainly not something you can do overnight. It's something that takes time. We didn't build up these walls and these phobias and these binging episodes that didn't happen overnight. It's something that you have to chip away at very, very slowly and gently over a period of time. When I work with somebody on a one-to-one basis, I work with them for a minimum of 6 months, because it takes that long to change your mindset about what you're doing. I run a free Facebook group where people can sort of get that kind of support as well. And a lot of them just initially, when they first start, they just post pictures of food that they're eating. And it's not for me to judge or criticize or comment on the food. It's just for them to raise awareness of what's actually on their plate. What are they actually eating on a day-to-day basis? Because quite often we get ourselves into a situation where it's just the same thing day in, day out, mindless, trying to get through the day, trying to cope with the stresses and strains of life. Whereas actually we just need to be just a little bit more present when we are talking and looking and cooking and buying food.
So you mentioned a free Facebook group. Don't be bashful. We don't mind if you shamelessly plug. Tell us.
Well, it's really quite a long-winded name, but if you basically search for Impact Nutrition Gay Men Over 40, there'll be a group there. But if you actually go to my little Linktree website, paul.coach, there's a link to it from that. And there's also a free quick start guide as well, PDF, because people struggle to just get started.
Right.
So I love to just give people a little quick cheat sheet just to get them on the right track.
So let's talk about that, Paul.
Yeah.
So you're saying quick cheat sheet. If I'm someone who I know I'm overweight because that's how I feel I am, and I'm ready to seriously engage someone in trying to, navigate this new realm that I'm about to jump into, how do you start? What steps do you take? And what are your recommendations for them, whether it's either through you or through someone else? Are there networks of nutritionists that you would recommend if they're not in the UK and they rather, reach out to someone here in the US? How do you get started?
There's a lot of sort of misinformation out on the internet, so you have to be really careful. Personal recommendation is usually the best way to find somebody that can help you. And my recommendation usually for people to get started is, let's start from the beginning. Let's start from breakfast. Okay, what do you have for breakfast? Let's see if we can make that just a little bit better. I'm not a low carb fanatic. I'm not a keto, paleo. You're never going to have chips, fries, pizza,
I would
whatever
die.
again.
Yes.
That's just
My
not gonna
world will
happen.
literally come to an end.
Yeah, it's just don't even bother with that. But having said that, we do have generally too much carbohydrate in pretty much every single meal that we have. In particular, in breakfast, we have cereal with a splash of milk or soy milk or whatever, and it's basically carbs with some toast, which is carbs, with some jelly, which is carbs. It's just too much, and you'll end up having kind of a little bit of a crash. And so just to get people started, I would say, let's just start with breakfast. Just get 20 grams of protein, which is 3 eggs. It's 200 grams of Greek yogurt. It's tofu scramble if you're plant-based. Just start with that. Do that for a week and see how you get on. And I can almost guarantee you will snack less. You'll feel fuller for longer. You'll feel more comfortable in your own body. You'll have more energy. And that will give you the motivation to think, okay, I could do the next thing, whatever that thing is.
Right.
So it's always, you want to look for somebody or look for instructions where it's like, it needs to be so bloody easy. You think, well, what's the point? It's, that's just too simple. You have to start that at that level and then gradually improve. So
you're saying basically what I'm understanding is pick breakfast, for example, work on that and then move on to something else. When you've become comfortable with the idea of making breakfast better for you, now let's try lunch and maybe, dinner 4 weeks from now or 6 weeks from now. And so what you're doing is you're gradually incorporating healthier choices that are better for your body, but you're doing them in ways that are not so disruptive to how you've been eating for years. Yeah, spot on. I mean, if somebody was looking to lose weight, I would want them to lose between 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is really not a lot. The slower, the better. If you can lose half a pound a week, that's even better for you, because that shows that you're in control of what you're having. You're not necessarily missing out a great deal because you're not losing weight dramatically. Your body is able to just keep doing that for ages and ages because you're not restricting anything. But if we can just start slowly and just work that way, you could basically do that for years. And let's face it, it took you years to get where you are, so it's going to take years possibly to get back to that.
I think part of the issue is that we're accustomed to immediate gratification. So I think it's working on eliminating that first and trying to expect immediate results. I didn't lose 5 pounds in a week. Something's wrong. And I think that's a big thing. And coming from a Latino background, carbs is 95% of our diet.
Literally.
We grew up, you make a soup, but you add rice and you add bread. It's like,
and noodles. Don't forget the noodles.
And the noodles. It's like carbs with carbs and extra carbs just in case you didn't have enough carbs.
And a splash of veggies and a lot of meat.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean that's the main thing. Especially, I think a lot of times, depending on how you grew up, eating, that's another thing. I mean, when I was younger, 15, 16, even 18, I was active. I could sit down and eat pounds of food, no questions asked, and keep moving. But I was constantly active. I was always burning it off. And then you get accustomed to eating that way. And then you're 30, 35, and you're still eating in the same fashion. And you're trying to figure out, why am I getting so fat?
So, and the interesting thing is when people do start eating healthier, within 3 to 4 weeks, they'll come back to me and say, do you know what? I'm ready to do a little bit of exercise now. And I'm not forcing them. I'm not telling them that they should be doing this, but that just by eating a little bit better, they're getting more energy. They're sleeping better. They start to actually want to move their body a bit more. And so I sort of give them some bodyweight exercises, and it snowballs. They just get better and better and better.
Nice.
That's incredible.
My last thought and question for you is, right now, like in the past couple of years, food sensitivity has been such a big thing. Everybody's taking these tests to find out what they're allergic to, what they shouldn't be putting in their bodies. Is that something that you would suggest, or should people be cutting all this stuff out of their diet when they get these tests back?
So a lot of these tests, particularly the one that you get on mail order, they test for antibodies. And they say that because you've got the antibodies, you are therefore sensitive or allergic to these foods. These antibodies actually mean you have consumed these foods. They don't mean that you're allergic to them. So you'll get this huge list of like 100 things you're not supposed to eat. And they're like color coded as well. So it really scares the crap out of you. But actually, it's bullshit. Yeah. It's absolutely bullshit. Right. Unless you are celiac, you cannot have gluten. You might be gluten sensitive, and you might find that if you eat 3 pizzas in a row, you know, you're going to get the shits. But
don't eat it.
Yeah. But, you know, some people say, for example, lactose. So people are scared about dairy. Oh, can't have dairy because, you know, it's bad for you, isn't it? No, in fact, unless you are actually lactose intolerant, which means that if you had anything with lactose in it, dairy, milk, cheese, whatever, you would be sat on the toilet for the next 24 hours.
Right.
Most of us are not lactose intolerant. We might be lactose sensitive. So if we have a gallon of milk, our body cannot process it that quick. The interesting thing is, if you cut out all lactose from your body, you will actually make yourself lactose sensitive.
Right.
So you'll actually end up making yourself ill by doing that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have a good friend who took one of those tests and it came back that she was gluten intolerant and, you know, lived her life, most of her life, you know, if she had gluten, she might have some type of reaction, but now it's like she eats it, she's sick for days.
Which is quite interesting. So, Paul, let's say, for example, I'm someone that's interested in having a conversation, sitting down with someone of your experience. How do I do that? How do I reach out to you, or how do I look at what you have available? Do you have a program available? A website, perhaps, that someone can say, hey, I'm going to reach out to Paul and see what my options are.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you just go to my website, paul.coach, that will go to the link tree where you've got the Facebook group, you've got the link to book a call with me, you've got the free quick start guides, all those kind of stuffs. And the calls that I have with people, they're just a 15-minute quick chat. It's not a sales pitch. I don't have time to sell you anything. It's just really just have a quick chat and say, can I help you?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you have the right mindset at the moment to be helped? Because you have to actually want help. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
There's no point in me having a conversation with you if actually you're not ready for that conversation yet.
Right. So paul.coach is where people should go if they're, seriously thinking about making some changes that could potentially have very healthy benefits for them, and they want to engage in that conversation with you. That's where they should go.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, Paul, I think, the work that you're doing is important for all of us, for a lot of people who are looking to find ways to better themselves, right? Without having to go through these fad diets and, trying to say, oh my God, the keto and this and that. And
my lemonade cleanse.
Right. with cayenne pepper and God knows what else.
He hates me right now. He's like, how dare he say that while I'm on the show?
He went through it. I had to go through it with him because, there's nothing worse than someone trying some of these like crazy like fads and then having them go through that irritable process of being like mad all day because they're super hungry, and then they take it out on you. Meaning me. Because I have to deal with him often. So
and what results did you get from doing that?
I just wanted to strangle him.
I fit into my suit for the wedding.
Right.
Can you fit in?
But then it all came right back.
But can you fit into the suit now? That's the
question.
Shut
up, Jay. God.
I've done keto. And once I dropped off keto, I must have eaten more carbs than I've eaten my entire life because you crave it.
Yeah,
you crave it.
Right. You're depriving your body of something that you've let it literally get used to for decades, and now all of a sudden you're cutting it all out, and your body's like, "What is happening?"
Yes.
Right.
It's not healthy. I mean, protein, carbs, and fat are the three main macros. And to suddenly cut out a third of what you should be eating, of course you're going to lose weight. But is it healthy?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Right.
Not if you're miserable. That's the way I see it.
That's definitely not healthy,
Yeah.
being miserable. No, I would not recommend that at all.
Well, Paul, it's been fantastic to have you. I think that, a lot of the information that you've shared with us today is important because it makes us realize that we really do need to be very careful with what we choose and how we approach weight loss, our mindsets, how we correlate our mental with our physical, and how that all works together. And I'm really happy that I know that Paul.coach exists and I can go there and just be like, hey, what can I do for myself?
You're going to have to call him
Please
tomorrow.
So
I look
Paul,
forward to it.
so thank you so much for providing this vital information and sharing what you've been working on for well over decades with us on the show and with our guests and with our listeners.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for coming on so late. I know you're late night. Where you're
It's
at,
midnight
so,
now,
Oh,
That's my bad. All right.
Thanks, Nick.
get some of that needed restful sleep, and we'll be in touch because I don't think this is the end of I would say Paul Bailey on the show. I think that there's more that we can gain and our listeners can gain from having you on and potentially
Absolutely.
collaborate
If you have
with
any
us.
questions or anything like that, and you want to send them to the show instead, and we can have a follow up maybe.
Yeah.
We can definitely do that.
That'd be fantastic.
Definitely do that, Paul.
And if you choose to write a book down the road or a small manuscript and you want to share with us,
I didn't ask. Do you have any written work, or do you have anything that's published specifically for what you're doing?
Not for nutrition. I do have a life coaching book out, but it's not nutrition related, so it's kind of out of date now. I would probably have to get in touch with you again once I've got it up to date.
Okay, well, that's enough said. But if you have anything you want to share with us, send it to us. We'll make sure we publish it. We're going to be publishing tonight's episode, I hope, by the end of this evening. And we'll have a link to your website, obviously all the information that you've shared with us for our listeners and anyone that wants to engage. And good luck and thank you for doing what you do. It's important.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Well, ladies and gents, that, of course, was Paul Bailey. We're going to have most of the information on our website tonight with tonight's post. What a wonderful guy.
Yeah, he's
That was
great.
nice. That
I
was
think
cute,
I
yeah.
love his enthusiasm for the work that he does. And it seems like, he's doing good things. It's awesome. It's amazing. All right. Well,
we can all use some extra help.
don't we always?
Don't
Don't we always? All right. Well, why don't we wrap this up? Do you have Mama Kim's Minute and all that good stuff?
I do, yeah.
Oh my gosh, she was on point today. She can't wait to get to her niece. That's what it is. And by niece, I mean well, you got to get to the puppy first, and then your niece.
Yeah.
Niece hasn't come yet. Hopefully, it would be awesome if she was born today.
Yeah, it would be.
Valentine's Day. All right. Well, why don't we toss it over to Trish? I'm going to give her some love because, of course, you won't do the segment if you don't give her any love. So here she goes. Wait, which one is you buying?
The one up.
Pink? This
Yeah,
one?
That one.
No, I don't think that's it.
I don't really know. That's not it. That's. Is
None
it
of them
muted?
are
Oh, wait,
working.
wait,
Oh,
wait.
it's muted.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. All right, everybody. Here's Mama Kim's Minute. Number 1, Andrew Blazer makes U.S. Olympic history as the first out gay man in this super fast ice sport. Number 2, brilliant gender fluid nuclear expert and LGBT plus activist lands crucial job in Biden's administration.
Yas Queen.
Yes. Number 3, HIV is now diagnosed more often in straight people than gay and or bisexual men.
Which is pretty interesting considering, and I think that Truvada and prophylactic exposure treatments that we've had available for the past 6-7 years now have made a huge impact in our community.
100%.
In regards to, the possibility of contracting HIV when you expose yourself with someone who's positive.
And I don't think the education is out there necessarily right now for the heterosexual community. I mean, they can be and should be protecting themselves too.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I was just sending a little message to our guests who just said thank you. Thank you guys. Great speaking with you all. Likewise, Paul, wonderful to have you. So that was Mama Kim's Minute in a heartbeat. Well, why don't we move on to
On this day in gay history.
Right.
Brought to you by GayTalk 2.0, your LGBTQ podcast.
Look at him.
Yeah, we're still doing that? All right, got it.
So, in this day in gay history, of course, February 14th, 1984, in Australia, Elton John marries female music engineer. So, Elton John marries, I'm going to screw this up, I know, Renate Bleuel.
Yeah.
Blauel,
Renate.
I'm sorry if I screwed this up, in Sydney for 4 days after proposing to her. They divorced in 1988 when he disclosed he is gay, not bisexual.
Which, I mean, we kind of knew, but it's not our jobs
It
to out
happens.
people. People have to go through the process of, just going through the notions of getting to that point when they're ready. Sorry,
Absolutely.
Trish had to step out. If you're watching the live stream video, then, she's excited.
She's excited. She's expecting
We're expecting
her
babies,
niece,
so-
her first
so.
niece.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's interesting.
That
And
is
then
absolutely.
he ended up marrying his husband, who he's currently still with, which is incredible. And when you think about an artist such as Elton John, the man has made meaningful impact not only for our community but just in the music that he shares with the world. So
Absolutely.
it's incredible. All right, well, ladies and gents, if you love the show, make sure that you go subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as our episodes are published. You can also support us on Patreon. By doing so, you, our listeners, can support the show with a monetary donation, which we collect monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more. And I have no idea.
Next week, I guess we may or may not have a invited guest. We will see. But we want to say thank you to our guest tonight, Paul Bailey, nutritional coach / life coach.
Right.
It was great speaking with him and having him on the show today, and we hope to have him back as always.
My job is done. I'm leaving. This bitch got it. I'm proud of you, Mr. J.
Are you a gunkle yet? We're waiting to news.
No, I'm
Okay.
not a gunkle yet. No, but my brother is,
freaking out?
Everybody's
I love it.
freaking out. We're
Well, tell him to
happy
calm
and
down.
excited.
It takes hours.
No,
okay?
he was like, "All right, Nick, you're gonna head up there. There are 2 filet mignons in the fridge. They're gonna go bad if you don't cook them. So can you cook them tonight?" It's like, really?
shit, if
You're
it-
calling me to tell me about the fucking filet mignons?
I'm driving up with you today. Filet
Filet
mignon.
mignon, we're going up there. There will be a barbecue at 12 Oaks tonight.
But yes,
so-
this is us. We never have anything formally scripted.
Right. So it is going to be President's Day next week, and I believe
Yes.
I'm off that Monday. Are you off that Monday?
I don't know. Maybe I'll take it off if I don't have it.
Yeah, and so I don't know if maybe the weather cooperates and we have something to celebrate on. Maybe we'll grill in the backyard, even though it's like bone chilling cold. We'll make it work and do something, and then bring you on a nice little, President's Day episode.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm off next week. I'm taking
off
it
as well.
off. So, all right. Well, here's Nick with our weekly reminder for all of you bottoms out there who want to keep your buttholes on point. Yes, we are talking about Future Method. Let me give this bitch some love. Here you go.
Okay, thank you. Get the Future Method today. Each time you clean out with water or enemas, delicate tissues are harmed and cells are damaged, increasing chances of injury and or STDs. The first of its kind doctor-developed formula gently cleanses before you play without hurting your bum. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum cleanser today.
Yes, Queen. Jay,
And as always, it is time to put a ring on it.
why do we do a ring?
Because that's
That's my thing.
that's his
That's
thing.
her thing. All right.
Chris
well,
likes to
ring it
put a
is.
rubber on it. I like to put a ring on it.
Oh,
We
please.
know.
Chris is
So
not kidding
Chris is not
anybody.
here. And by the way, happy belated birthday, Chris.
Oh,
we
yeah.
forgot
That's
you.
right. It was his
We
birthday last week.
apologize.
I didn't
We're
forget.
horrible.
I'm horrible. Sorry.
We're
We love
horrible.
you.
We love
Happy
you.
birthday, girl.
Not listening.
And just to move on, our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, on the audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher Radio.
All right, you can find us on social media, Facebook GayTalk 2.0, Instagram GayTalk 2.0, Twitter at GayTalk20. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom, you hit record today.
I did. So we're good. The intern finally got it. If you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website, click on the Contact Us tab. There, you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast, or an individual host. You can also call us and leave us a voice message if you'd like. We can, answer any questions you may have on the show live. The phone number is 334-GAY-TALK. And if you need all those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget that we do stream live every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can access that live stream by visiting digitalstreamradio.com. With that, ladies and gents, that is our show. Thank you, and y'all have a good night. Bye! Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.